What up, YouTube? So today I'm here again working on the 3D printer, and I'm attempting to do my first print. So basically right now I've got the bed heating up, and then it will heat up the extruder, and it will do a homing test, and then after that it should start printing out. So here it's doing an auto home. Looks like it kind of struggled there just a little bit to go down, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. See, I've got these, basically a piece of hoses used to hold the Z-axis in place. Now it's going to auto level the bed. And this is a pretty convenient feature that, oh, it looks like it just gave me a probing error fail. And I heard it again struggling to go down. So I'm not really sure why I'm getting this struggle. Could be a couple of different reasons. It could be that the pot needs to be adjusted. So I'm going to do just a little bit of an adjustment on that. Could also be some wiring there. So I'm going to kind of tweak with this a little bit more just for the efficiency of the time of this video, but for right now we're just going to see what it does. Looks like it's approaching temperature on the hot end. And we just hit temp, and looks like it's not going to execute the print, so I'm just going to hit the reset button there on the side, reset the printer, and we're just going to do an auto home again. Looks like it might be a little high. So now I'm going to level the bed. Might just be too that I need a little bit of lubrication here on these rods. That would definitely smoothen things up, so I'm going to be planning on doing that. Seems to be working just fine now. So I'm just going to do a quick reset. I'm just going to go ahead and go print from SD card, print out my test cube. And I'll start recording again once everything heats back up. Okay, so I finally got it fixed and printing. And this is my second print. Here's the first thing I printed, and this is a belt tensioner. So I'm just going to be using this because I had a loose belt, and currently I'm using a copper wire to keep the belt tight. So To kind of a bit of review, the big problem I had was in my software. Somehow I had set the homing location to 250 millimeters, so it was basically trying to print way out of the print area. So I set that to 0, and I am able to print now. So some of the other problems that I had was having the X and the Y axis switched around. So just a quick tip, guys, it's always good to keep your hand on that power button when you're doing your first testing of your homing your axis and stuff. That way you don't smash any of the bed or the extruder or anything up against anything. And after I print this other belt tensioner, I'm going to be printing some couplers to replace the current tubing that I'm using, because I know that it won't last long. So stay tuned as I upgrade this printer. Another thing I'm going to be doing to it is putting a Z-axis support. My Z-axis is pretty wobbly, and eventually it'll get looser and looser as time goes on. So I'm going to be tightening that up. So here we got my second print. Turned out pretty good. Still a little bit warm, but yeah, so there we go. I'm printing with eSun PLA. It's one of the better filaments you can get. If you want to go with something more cost effective, I recommend XYZ. That's another really good filament, good consistency. So yep, anyways, stay tuned. What up, YouTube? So as you can see, First I printed a couple belt tensioners to help tighten up my Y-axis. Then I printed out this test cube, and as you can see, it's definitely skewed. This is supposed to be a circle here, and it's very skewed on the X-axis. The Y and the Z look pretty good. So now I'm going to do a full printer calibration. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to home all my axis, all my axi. Then once my axis are all homed, I'm going to move them each 100 millimeters and then measure it to see it should be 100 millimeters. If not, then I'll do some adjustment in the software. So move the Z axis. I'll do that one first because I know that one's the most skewed. So I'm going to move it down to 0. And then I'm going to take a measurement here. Okay, so as you might have noticed on my measuring tape, the millimeters are worn off pretty much across the whole first meter of the tape. So I went and got a much better tool for calibration, and that is basically a micrometer tool. So this is a very accurate tool, and it even has a digital readout on it. So now, and I can zero it. So now I'm going to be using this to do my calibration, and it will give me a much accurate reading so that I can get exactly where I want to be. So this last one got us pretty close, but now I'm going to just take this right here. So I got it zeroed in right there. Okay, and then I'm going to move it up 50. And I'm going to turn it on. Slowly move it up. Since I zeroed it, it should be pretty accurate. So now I'm going to go up to 50, and I will see that I'm setting at 79.35 from 50. So now I'm going to do the same calculations I did before and do another adjustment. Okay, so just to confirm that equation, we've got the desired movement divided by the actual movement times the current value, and that will give us the new value that we should have for the steps per unit.